Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're talking about The Walking Dead's episode called Alone. It aired tonight, March 3rd, 2014. If you haven't had an opportunity to watch that episode, stop listening now. Major spoilers, here we go. Tonight's episode, man, was excellent, man. It was a really, really great episode to make up from last week's horrible episode. And I am very thankful about everything that occurred tonight, man. And let me just say this also. Since last week's episode was just way far off the beaten trail, man, and it was like, why are we learning all this information about Beth and Daryl? Why is this Beth and Daryl storyline starting to, just hit us, coming straight at us for no reason? What's the purpose? Well, tonight, we get to the episode called Alone, and everything that we, I guess, were kind of frustrated about with last week's episode, it all came together. Everything was explained. Amen. Amen. Tonight's episode, man, it was called Alone. One group finds a shelter. A group has a realization about protection. And tonight's episode had Sasha, Maggie, Bob, Daryl, and Beth inside the episode. No Michonne, no Carl, no Rick, no Tyrese, Lizzie. None of those people were inside of this episode. And it was just a solid episode, man. Let's go ahead and start with Sasha, Maggie, and Bob. The episode starts out tonight with a origin story for Bob. We find out, how he survived on his own. We find out that he had a friend or a girlfriend or a significant other that he had to kill. And it was a female. And now we kind of understand why, as of, I say, 3 episodes ago, he's starting to kind of lean towards Sasha. And that is because Sasha reminds Bob of his former friend who is no longer with us because Bob had to kill this person. And Bob didn't kill this person because she attacked she attacked him. It was because his friend actually said, "Please kill me. Bob, will you kill me?" And then Bob killed her. It was crazy. It was crazy, man, to see, Bob had, he had hair, facial hair. He was walking like a zombie, like a walker, through these woods, through all these different, trails and tracks, man, until, trying to stay alive. And they also showed you the backstory or the origin story of his addiction to alcohol and all that stuff. And it wasn't until, and this was just, I think, beautiful about the episode, it wasn't until Glenn and Daryl found Bob on the road that he was able to kind of get back to some sort of normality inside of his life, to where he was able to kind of give up drinking and, become, I guess, a regular person again. And the whole thing about that is when Bob is with the rest of the gang and he's with the group, okay, he's happy. And Sasha, man, she doesn't really understand that. She just has a lot of pain because she's no longer with her brother. Tyrese is somewhere that she doesn't know where. She doesn't know if he's alive or not. She sees what Maggie's going through with Glenn, and Glenn is nowhere to be found, but Maggie's still searching for him and still trying to have hope. But for Sasha, she can't have this. She doesn't understand the hope because she feels like all of it's lost. And she's just afraid. That's what she said in the episode. Maggie decides, man, to take off. She decided to take off on her own, man, going to look for Glenn. And the reason behind it is because Sasha is saying some things that really upset Maggie. And pretty much she's just saying that, Glenn is dead. There's no hope. The only hope is that we stay together, and that's it. Well, Maggie wasn't feeling that. She went ahead and she decided to start looking for him, for Glenn. And they found this Terminus sign earlier on. And they said, she said, if Glenn sees this sign, that's where he's going. So it's kind of cool, man, because, Maggie's able to kind of hone in on that stuff, and kind of, understand, how Glenn is thinking, and they're pretty similar, being, married and all. It's kind of cool, man. I really did like that. Sasha, she decides to really not listen to Bob. She says, you know what, I'm going to go off on my own also. And Bob tries to persuade her by kissing her. And, that's kind of, fast forwarding the episode, a long time, but it kind of built up to that. They were spending time together. She was pretty much cooking him beans, winning his heart over. He was kind of feeling, feeling like he needed to get some or whatever, and he just went for it, and he tried to change her mind. That didn't really change her mind. She decided to leave anyway, and what ends up happening is that Maggie goes on her own. She goes into this building that she sees, and then Bob continues on the trail, heading towards Terminus, looking for Maggie. And what ends up turning out, or what ends up happening, is that Sasha, she goes upstairs in this building, she looks out the window, she looks on the ground, and she sees these bodies. And one of them is not really bitten up, and then all of a sudden the body starts moving, and then the camera focuses in on it, and it's Maggie laying on the floor. Maggie's been going around, check this out, man. Once they found the Terminus sign, Maggie was finding walkers, ripping them open, like killing them, murdering them, and then writing Glenn, head to Terminus, love Maggie, Glenn, go to Terminus, Maggie, all over these signs and along the way, along the trail, in blood, in Walker's blood. It's kind of sickening, man. I'm not gonna lie. She ripped this one Walker, man, beat her brains in. This Walker girl beat her brains in, ripped open her stomach, pulled her small intestines and all that stuff out, man, and then took it and wrote on the wall, man. I was like, oh, God. So when you find, when Maggie is found by Sasha, she's surrounded by these walkers inside of, like, this circle of cars, and one of them is an ice cream truck, which was really funny because all the walkers were behind the ice cream truck. It was almost as if they were in line trying to get ice cream. Obviously, there's the ice cream is melted, it's gone, but they were pretty pissed off. So they came out and they started trying to kill Maggie and Sasha. And then all of a sudden you see Maggie and Sasha with this comic book type strip to where they're backed up. Sasha's pointing one way or facing one direction, Maggie's facing the other. They got their backs towards each other and they're just fighting, man. They're fighting to survive, And it's at that point where Maggie, explains, the reason why she left. But the reason why is because, she didn't want Bob and Sasha to risk their life, and then she understands that they're afraid. And then Sasha finally agrees and says, and confirms that she really is afraid. She's like, I'm afraid, I really am. And then, Maggie gives her this speech, man, of hope. And the reasoning why you have to stick together. She's like, I can't do this without you. I can't do this without Bob. Me and Bob can't do this without you. Come with us, And then she takes off, her and, once they defeat the walkers, they take off and they go find Bob at the ending of the episode. And it was crazy good, man. I mean, I was cheering the whole entire time, man. I'll upload that video pretty soon. And I just really, really enjoyed this episode, man. We're gonna go back real quick, man. They had this Tom Welling fog scene, man, to where Sasha, Maggie, and Glenn were inside of the fog, and it was just crazy because you didn't think about that element, and the element of weather. Fog plays a huge role inside of life and death circumstances inside of The Walking Dead. I didn't think about that, man. I had no clue. Yeah, the fog, it limits your visibility. And the walkers can be right up on you. So what you have is you have Sasha, Maggie, and Glenn. They have their backs towards each other. They're facing in opposite directions. And all you can hear is, the sounds of walkers, man, growling and snarling and screaming, and trying to get at them. Then all of a sudden they start attacking. And it happens so quick, man. It's like if you blink, you would have missed that walker, lunging at you. And I love that. I love the way they did that, man. I think it was just perfect because... who thinks of something like that? Obviously, when we're driving in our cars, we see fog, we slow down, we drive slower. And then, our reaction time, has to be instantly, what I'm saying? And if you hesitate for a second, in your car, you're dead. That's what happens, man, So they actually showed that tonight, man. Maggie ended up, she kind of hesitated for just, it was like a millisecond, seriously. And that walker was on top of her. And then all of a sudden, Sasha and Bob, they saved each other. And it was just a really, really awesome episode. It was almost like a superhero episode, to be honest. And then we'll switch over to Beth and Daryl. Tonight's episode, man, was actually really frustrating, man, as far as Daryl and Beth. Because, we were frustrated because of last week. And then you see them making the same exact mistakes, man. You know, not listening to that gut intuition, man. That your conscience like speaking and screaming to you, saying, "Don't go in there. That's stupid. Let's stop this. What are you doing? Think about it for a second." Here's the situation, man. We see Daryl and Beth. They're on the road, obviously, and you know they're becoming a lot closer, man. They're becoming. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. It's kind of sickening to think about it, but you know they're like an item, man. I just want to go ahead and I'll say that right now, man. You have, let's talk about couples for a second. You have Maggie and Glenn. You have Bob and Sasha now. And then you have Daryl and Beth. It's not going to end good, man, because, you know, The Walking Dead is just like a scary movie. You can't hook up with anybody, man. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. Daryl and Beth, they arrive at this almost like a golf plantation, but it's a what is it? Yeah, cremation, man. Funeral home. It's a funeral home. Yeah, think about that for a second, man. A funeral home where dead bodies are kept. And this is so crazy. I still don't understand it, man, because of just how fast everything happened. But here's what happened. They knock on the door, okay? And they notice, like, as soon as they start walking up to the funeral home, everything's clean. It looks like someone has been keeping up the lawn. It looks like someone's been keeping up the front of the house. And then you walk inside. I mean, not like, you know, it's not like, you know, perfect or not like that, like new paint or not like that. But you can see it's different than what we've seen. All of a sudden, they knock on the door. You know, nobody answers, obviously. They walk inside. They, you know, hey, hello, anybody in here? You know, announce themselves. No one answers. But you notice that the floors are polished. Yes, man, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the floors inside of a funeral home are polished. So I'm screaming to myself, you know, obviously, you know, screaming at the TV, but really to myself. I'm like, yo, B, get out of there, yo. What are you doing? Don't be stupid, you know? And they continue to walk inside the house, man. They close the door behind them, and they start, you know, going through the funeral home, man. They go downstairs. They see where the bodies, you know what I'm saying, are being prepped. And there's actually a body upstairs. Before they go downstairs, there's a body inside of the casket. And they touched its face, man, and I don't even really understand I don't even know what that was about, but it was freaky, man, because the face was like, it was like putty. You know, somebody had obviously, you know, cared for this walker, man, and put makeup and stuff like that, you know, most of the people do for their bodies, you know, when you're about to go view them in the casket, with an open casket, you know, they put makeup and all that stuff on there. They pump it full of, whatever that stuff is called, man, and, Daryl touched this thing's face. I don't know what you're gonna call it. I mean, first I was thinking if he touches this walker, this sleeping dead body, whatever it is, if he touches it, it's gonna rip its arm off. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna grab Daryl's arm and rip it off, or it's gonna bite his finger or something like that. And he touched it, man. So I mean, it's crazy. Then they go downstairs. There's more dead bodies that are being prepped, that have been prepped. There's even this half walker, half human face that it kind of shows you, you know, the time that it takes to prep these different walkers, man. And they're filling it in with paste. They're filling it in with... It was just absolutely crazy, man. I don't even really know what to say besides getting me sick in my stomach thinking about it. Anyway, man, they go back upstairs. They start looking for food. Obviously, because they have shelter now. Nobody's there, so they're like, okay, shelter's good. They go inside the cabin and start looking around. And they notice that there's no dust on any of the stuff, man. There's plates. There's silverware. There's glass. There's... you know, inside the kitchen area, everything's clean, man. Everything's kept. Everything's maintained. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, man, this has got to be either a madhouse. Like, whoever's going to return to this house is going to kill them. It's going to slit their throats. It's going to rape Beth. It's going to, you know, rip Daryl's arms in half, snap his arms in half, stuff it through his mouth. Or, you know, just something really violent, okay? And what ends up happening, man, is that, you know, Daryl and Beth start having this moment where they're like, you know... And it's crazy because Daryl starts saying, you know, hey, maybe we can, you know, sit here and stay here for a while. You know, maybe we can just, you know, lock it down here and then go out there and hunt. And then we'll come back here and we can kind of, you know, stay here and be safe. And then Beth is like, you know, why do you think that way? Why do you think that way? And Daryl's like, well, it's because... And he doesn't really say anything. He kind of just stays quiet. And she's like, no, just use your words. You know, talk, say it. Tell me why. And then he doesn't say anything. Then all of a sudden you hear this knock on this door, okay? He goes out there and he checks. He opens the door. There's this dog. Check this out, man. There's a dog with one eye. There's a one-eyed dog. And I don't even really know what to say. It's a one-eyed dog. It's a white dog. Daryl, I mean, this is so stupid. This is what I talk about, man, how frustrating it was tonight, man, as far as them two, as far as Daryl and Beth. Daryl opens the door. He leans down. He tries to pet the damn dog. The damn dog has one eye, man. There's a one-eyed dog on your porch. You don't pet it. You don't touch it. You don't touch it, man. You know, I mean, you set up this little booby trap to where you had these little cans. So if anybody walked up the steps, they would, you know, hit the cans. And then the cans would make noise. And then all of a sudden the damn dog makes noise and you should shoot that dog. And then anyway, the dog, check this out. Check this out. Daryl tries to touch the dog in the face. The dog, you know what I'm saying, it's like, starts, you know, whelping and stuff, you know, yimpering and all that stuff. And all of a sudden it runs around the corner. It doesn't want to come inside. Daryl was trying to grab the dog and take it inside, you know, pet it and say, come on, boy, come on in here. The damn dog didn't want to come inside, man. The dog took off running. You know what I'm saying? So there goes strike three. That's strike three because you had the bodies inside of the casket were taken care of. You had the clean house, and then you had the food that didn't have any dust. Well, matter of fact, that's strike four. You're out, man. You're done. You're hitting foul balls now. You had the damn one-eyed dog didn't want to come in the house, man. That means run. But they stay in there. They stay in there. They sleep. Anyway, they wake up. All of a sudden, they hear, they go to sleep. And they hear this noise, man. They hear the cans going off again. And all of a sudden, man, like, Daryl's like, hey, stay here, Beth. Stay here. I got this. It's probably that dog again or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, first off, a damn dog is not going to do the exact same thing, you know what I'm saying, that he did last time. That's stupid, man. So you should know that that's not no damn dog. The dog ran away. It didn't want to come in towards the house. So obviously it has like bad, you know, memories of that shit. So he's not going to come back. The dog's like, yo, I'm out of here, B. I'm done. All of a sudden, man, it tripped me out, man. It tripped me out. Daryl, check this out. Daryl comes to the door with his crossbow. But the first time he came to the door, you know what I'm saying, with the crossbow, he came to the door. All of a sudden, man, he had the crossbow at the ready, you know what I'm saying, and everything was going good. And then all of a sudden, man, he, you know, the next time, and he hears the noise, he goes to the door. He doesn't have his crossbow ready. He just has it by his side. So as soon as he's like, oh, you know, come on in here, boy. I know you're probably hungry or whatever. Opens the door, and all of a sudden, like 50 freaking walkers start coming in, man. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden he's like, Beth, run! Beth, get out of there, go! You know, and he's holding the door, you know, and these walkers are pushing through, man. And then all of a sudden, man, it was one of the greatest scenes of The Walking Dead that I have ever witnessed, man. I'm just gonna be real with that. Daryl Dixon, man, he was in this like Michonne zone tonight, man. Like he was, I can't even really explain it, man. Besides this, check this out. Once he sees and knows that Beth is out of the house, man, he starts running these loops, you know what I'm saying, to try to, you know, bring the walkers with him rather than going after Beth. So he goes downstairs back to the same room that they had those bodies down there being prepped. And then all of a sudden, man, like he's trapped, man. You know what I'm saying? There's only one way out, and that's up the stairs. He came down the stairs. All of a sudden, there's this whole entire herd of walkers coming down the steps. He shoots one that's on the step with the crossbow. You know what I'm saying? Then after that, he uses this cart that has a dead body on there to block himself in. And then all of a sudden, all the walkers just kind of pin him against the wall, man. Well, he starts just hitting him in the head with the knife, man. Bah, you know, headshot. Bah, headshot. Bah, headshot. Bah, headshot. Bah, you know what I'm saying? But they keep coming, man. There's probably like 50 of them, like I said. All of a sudden, man, he bends down. He goes to the bottom of the metal cart, man. He goes to the legs of a couple of walkers. He gets up, he grabs the other cart with the other dead body, and he pushes it against in front of those other walkers, man, so that he can have a little bit of distance between. Then all of a sudden, there he goes again. Yak up, back up, back up, back up. You know, headshot, right in the head, man, through the brain. And then he runs upstairs, man, and then there's another walker coming up the steps, man. He hits it back out. You know what I'm saying? Then he runs up. He runs outside, man, you know, and he's fighting on his way out. He's hitting walkers in the face, man, you know, headshot. And all of a sudden, you got this last walker, man. This last walker, I'm not gonna lie to you, kind of looked like Shane, man. I'll be 100%, you know, honest with you. It looked just like Shane, man, for some reason. I don't know, man. And it took Daryl a long time to kind of kill this walker, man. And I think that's because it looked just like Shane, man. All of a sudden, man, he uses his last little strength, man, and he hits that last walker, man. And then he starts running, man, trying to to look for Beth. He looks around, man, and he sees this bag that Beth had is on the ground. And he looks around, man, and he's like, you know, where is she at? He looks up. All of a sudden, there's this car taking off. And Beth is in there screaming. He's like, Beth, no! Ah! Ah! And he starts taking off, running after it, man. And whoever it is, but check this out. I think we know who it is. It's this preacher, man. And there's a cross in the back of the car as it's driving off, man. And Beth is inside. And I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say besides, you know, I told him, man. I told him. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody feels the exact same way I'm feeling, man. I said, get out of the damn house, man. I said, the house is clean. It doesn't make sense. Whoever is inside of that house at one point, obviously they left. They took off to go get some more supplies. They're going to come back. And if they know that somebody's in there, because obviously you put that little booby trap thing up there, they're not going to re-enter the house, man. What they're going to do is they're going to set it up for failure, man. They're going to set you up for failure. They're going to bring something, either a shotgun, machine gun, bazooka, something like that, and they're going to kill you to either take back that house, or they're going to, either keep you alive and then rape Beth. And I don't know what's happening right now. I mean, obviously Beth is in the car. That's all we got to know, you know. And I don't really know what else to say besides that, man. It's just crazy, man. But yeah, continuing on, man, it's kind of sad because, I mean, Beth started singing again tonight during the episode, and I got kind of frustrated with her. I was like, yo, kill her now. And then all of a sudden she gets taken, and she gets taken, and then you're sitting here like, oh man, that's messed up, you know. I didn't want her to go like that, but I did want her to go because she started singing again, you know. There's no reason for Beth to sing in the show, you know, but she decided to sing again tonight, and guess what happened? So hopefully that teaches her a lesson if they get her back. I don't know. Anyway, man, Daryl, man, he starts running up this road. He's running. He's searching for Beth, and then all of a sudden he just runs out of energy, man. He just loses pretty much all hope, man, and he sits down in the middle of this crossroad, this kind of fork in the road. He sits down, and he just waits. All of a sudden, man, you see this person approaches that has like a shotgun in their hand. And then all of a sudden, you see like a whole bunch of men start surrounding Daryl, who's sitting on the ground now in the middle of the road. And you notice that it's this guy that looks very familiar from not last week, but a few weeks ago, like 2 episodes ago, where Rick was lying in bed. Those guys came in there, and he had to pretty much escape the house, but he had to kill a couple people to escape the house. And then he ran outside. He grabbed Michonne and Carl, who were on their way back, and he told them to run. And they took off running. That's the same guy, man, named Joe, who just found Daryl. So now we're in the same situation that we ran into with Merrill. Merrill, man, he was found by the governor. Daryl is found by Joe. So now we're in that situation because whenever Rick, Daryl, Maggie, Sasha, Bob and Glenn and Tyrese and all them, whenever they come back together, you know, Daryl is coming with Joe. And the reason why, man, Daryl tried to fight his way out. He punched Joe in the face, and then he pulled up his crossbow and put it towards the dude's face. The dude kind of said, if you're a crossbower, you know, once a crossbower, always a crossbower. And I'm pretty sure you can, you know, use your brains more than that, because if you kill me, they're going to kill you, you know, 50 times over. And then Daryl just pretty much put his weapon down and was like, yo, I'm joining you guys. You know, hey, nice to meet you. My name is Joe. My name's Daryl. And that was it, man. And the last scene of the show, man, was just amazing, because it just shows you how much hope is left, man, in this episode. There's only 3 episodes left until the season finale. And it shows you that, you know, Glenn is touching a sign. He approaches a sign. All you see is his glove that has the on there, the knuckle gloves, you know, the kind of the hand glove that has like the MMA fighter gloves. It touches the poster, and then all of a sudden it backs up and you see Glenn. So now you have Glenn, Rosita, Abraham, and Eugene, and Tara. They're going to be joining Maggie, Sasha, and Bob. So they're heading towards Terminus. Everybody's heading towards Terminus right now. And then next week we have the return of Tyrese, Carol, Lizzie, and whatever that other girl's name is, they're all together. And what's crazy about this next week's episode, man, is that Tyrese finds out, well, we think because of what they showed us on the preview, Tyrese finds out about the situation with Carol, man, and he addresses that issue, he addresses that plot line, and fills that plot hole up, man. I think this is going to be it, man. I think next week's episode will close up those last few little plot lines, and after that, the second to last episode and the last season finale episode will have us inside of Terminus, man. I'm pretty sure next week we will arrive at Terminus towards the end of the episode, maybe in the middle, man. My guess is towards the end, maybe the last 10 to 12 minutes of the episode will arrive at Terminus, man. I am beyond excited, man. I cannot wait, man. This is the best season of The Walking Dead, man, so far, man. I hope this show keeps going for 10 years, man. I really do. Give it 10 seasons and then cut it off, man. And if it can go 20, man, do it. It's going to be kind of ridiculous, but all you got to do is just keep rotating that roster, man. New people, kill them off, get new people in, man. It could really, really happen, man. We could have like a amazing thing to where, you know, they rebuild, you know, humanity, and that's like the season 20, you know, finale or something like that. Who knows? Thanks again for listening, guys. Let me know if you watched this episode, and we're out of here.